Well, we've got two zombie plague books out in 1 week. Contagion #1 from Marvel, DCeased #5 from DC, and heroes are zombies. That's what we got. Let's look at them. Hey there, this is Perch. It was nice. We had a couple years there. We had like a good solid 5-6 years without zombie books, and now we're back. So Deceased came out a couple months ago now, and it was really popular. I think it was much more popular than people expected. It did just very very well in stores, and it overperformed. So whenever something overperforms, what do? Well, you drive that thing into the ground with as many spin-offs as possible. That's what you do. So Marvel, and I made a prediction. It's like Marvel will definitely do a zombie book, by the time early 2020 rolls around. But October, we got it in October of 2019. So that's Contagion. So let's look at both. First, over in Deceased, we basically are getting kind of I don't know, the quiet moment before the final issue. This is issue 5 of 6. So everything really goes to hell in the next issue. Yeah, we're going to have an unhappy ending, absolutely. But basically, we start Superman, Wonder Woman kind of looking over the ruins of Washington, Baltimore, Metropolis, and everything is really screwed up. And there's a small group of survivors, and we get a kind of reconciliation between Lex Luthor and Superman. We get basically the problem here is that the internet is people are answering their cell phones, and it's causing them to get kind of this virus, if you will, that started with Darkseid, um, and then they've all turned into zombies. It's basically the movie Cell. If you watched the movie Cell, and that was like four of you, then that is the plot that we have. So the heroes take down the internet. That's going to save everything. This isn't an in continuity book, obviously, but then they get to work making kind of sanctuaries of in Themyscira and in Gotham, with what Poison Ivy's made kind of a jungle paradise there, a little sanctuary, and then we've got a new Fortress of Solitude, and basically it's let's gather everybody up, make some arcs, and get them off the planet. Some nice art, nice gritty art. It fits this style. It would be interesting to see this artist on a regular kind of in continuity book, um, but I don't know. It wouldn't necessarily translate very well, and so curious how that would all kind of work. But really nice art, really nice coloring, good production. Of course, we get Superman and Luthor have a little argument, and then Lois punches Lex in the face because he does that, and it's nice to see young Jonathan Kent. That's nice. Just just for laughs. But anyway, so again, this is an issue of exposition. So it's very much the heroes are kind of settling things up, figuring out where to go, and kind of breaking before we get the big finale. Unfortunately, kind of the Martian Manhunter shows up, and he's been zombified, and he kind of wrecks a couple people, and he infects Flash, um, cuts Luthor in half. And this is the first area. I mean, we've seen the virus spreading through basically cell phones and other things, and now we're seeing the virus spread more through violence. So Martian Manhunter gets Flash, and Barry goes running off because he's turned, and Superman goes flying around. The Flash is just running around, just murdering people as he goes. That's kind of fun. You kind of wonder if the Flash just ran toward, but it's a mindless rampage is what these people do. But I mean, how many of the survivors could Flash just take out in the span of like 10 minutes? I think that's kind of what they're wanting you to kind of think that. But the Flash is kind of making his way across the world, and Superman meets him head on and just kind of blasts him into pieces. But parts of the Flash's body get kind of stuck in Superman, which seems odd. Would that happen? I don't know. But well, whatever. We're talking about just Superman kind of flying, head first into the Flash's chest and getting blood everywhere. So Superman, needless to say, gets infected. He goes and he says his goodbyes to everyone, and he takes time for, kind of seeing everyone. Lois says, "Thank you for choosing me," kind of tearful thing, and Superman flies off to try and get away. He tried to get as far away from Earth as he could, but he doesn't get far enough. And he gets kind of into orbit, and unfortunately, that is it. There's a line here that he tries to starve himself of oxygen before the virus could get going. But does he need oxygen really? And two, when he turns, then he's just kind of a murdering zombie that doesn't need any oxygen. Looking for logic in a zombie book's a mistake. But anyway, Trevor Hairsine doing the penciling, and Stefano Guadano is doing the inking. A nice penciler inker team, and what do you know? It's a good result. Good credit has to go to the colorist Rain Brado here in Hope Lost, the 5th issue of DCeased, which has performed so well, we can expect the announcement of DCeased 2 to be coming out any day now. Certainly, let's see, I'll predict by March. How about that? By March, DCeased 2, in addition to a bunch of spin-offs and other things, because why not? We need to explore this world. So, meanwhile, over in Marvel, we have Contagion, and Contagion is there. Everybody's being turned into a zombie book. We start in Kunlun, of all places, and there's there's something down where some undiscovered mysterious staircase. Let's go down to the cave, and then there's some weird green fungus stuff, and some people are dead, and it's like 3 people went in here. They find 2 of them. Where's the 3rd man? And this is following kind of the adventures of UT, who is, I believe, has been in the books before, but this isn't a major character that we've seen. But then we flip on over to old Yancey Street, because it's 1 week later. The Thing is doing some shopping, and we get a couple pages of the Thing shopping, and then one of the Yancey Street gang convinced him to go look under the old subway tunnels, because dark subway tunnels is always where crazy stuff seems to happen. And they find the friend, and she's been turned into a plant zombie, and she's kind of growling and all the rest, and the Thing kind of beats her back, and he's protecting this kid, and he comes up with the rock solid approach of wrapping her up in a jacket, and then he's going to carry her back. But before he can get away, he's attacked by zombie molinoids, who are just causing some crazy. I'll be glad when Reed Richards does away with his beard, by the way. They flash over him, like every artist draws it differently, and you can tell the artists that spend time really drawing the beard, and then others that just kind of color in a shape on his face. This is kind of in between both of those. But we get the zombies are attacking, and the mole man's been. Thankfully, they make the people who are zombies. They give them a different color word bubble. They give a little green disease color word bubble, which is very thoughtful, because it helps you identify. But the mole man's acting all peculiar and weird. He's got the weird shingles going on all over his legs and stuff. That's gonna cause some pretty horrible genital problems there. But anyway, the Fantastic Four arrive. They're trying to stop this threat. Everything is going good, and then in comes a big Cronenberg guy, and he's stumbling along. Here's the 3rd person, the villain of the series. He's got a robe with a sash that's just barely hanging on, which is nice. But anyway, he infects Reed, steals his powers, gets Johnny, steals his powers, tricks Sue, gets her powers, and the Thing is kind of stomping away. And what's happened? The Fantastic Four kind of there on the ground. We don't know if they're dead or zombified at this point, or turning. We're not sure exactly what's going on. Villain disappears. The Thing is left to kind of clean up the pieces, and that's trouble. So we end this series with this issue, which really flew by. Both these issues, DCeased is a longer read, because there's just more going on, and we're seeing some different locations, and it's kind of a little bit more fun where the artist is concerned and what they're able to do. Contagion is kind of a story told in 2 acts. We've got brief interlude, then we've got subway battle, and then kind of an epilogue. But Contagion is a very fast read, which is not necessarily a bad thing. It just you're not getting Watchmen out of this. So the story wraps up with UT kind of waking up the Iron Fist Daniel Rand, and saying, hey, there's a problem here and your world's about to be destroyed, and he's off to save the day. It's not completely clear. Ed Brisson, the writer for this, is this a fake, or sorry, not fake, but out of continuity, in continuity? It's a story that's going to be going over the next 5 weeks, so they're going to just kind of shoot it out, which is a good thing. Not a bad idea. So it's a horror comic marriage. It's going to be more street level heroes, I guess, are going to be the centerpiece. That's what we've heard. The art's fine. There's nothing wrong with any of this. It's not a it's a weekly horror event, and it would be nice to know, is this the problem? Is that Ed Brisson's saying he wants to bring kind of the street level heroes out a little bit and let's focus on them, and it's good kind of Defender story without the Defenders name. But if it's out of continuity and it's just kind of happening out of kind of out in a bubble, then I'm not sure. Does it elevate anybody? Probably not. Probably not really. So, is this in continuity or not? I think the answer has been not, but we're not sure. But anyway, the two horror books out, two kind of zombie books out, similar premise. I think 2020, because comic publishers just can't help themselves, is going to be the year of even more, lots and lots and lots of little zombie horror books. People taking many of the wrong lessons, I think, from Immortal Hulk and why that sold well, and now DCeased, and that sold well, and so we're going to see some horror, some comic book horrors is coming up. I was going to add the final issue of Maneaters to this in terms of kind of 3 horrifying stories, but I wouldn't do that to you. Anyway, there you go. 2 comics, 1 review. Um, Hope you enjoyed it. What did you think of the comics? Did you pick them up? Leave a comment below. Would love to hear your thoughts. Like, subscribe, click the bell for notifications, and thanks for listening.